bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell.
All right, today's the day we're going to be redoing we're going to take out this rear window of the RV in the bunkhouse. As you can see from behind me, it looks really bad, even worse in the sun and the shadows. But today we're going to be taking out that window because the only way I can do it is by putting the slides out. So we've taken it over to a neighbor's house. We're going to take the slides out. We're going to get that rear window out, and then we'll take it back over there, and I can do all the rest of the work at my house in the parking spot. But as you can see, it looks really, really super bad. You can see right here where this wood is just rotted and falling apart. So let's get to it. All right, so here's the rear bunkhouse. So as you can see, this is the rear window that I was already showing you guys. So we got to take that off to make it easier. And then I believe we just take out a bunch of screws, and this thing should pop out for the most part, assuming the seal is not that great. So let's get started on this. So what I've come to realize is that almost every screw on an RV, at least ours, has the square head bit. And then of course you come across the few that have Phillips head that were somebody put in, looks like sheetrock screws instead of the square bit. Makes you appreciate all the jacks we put under here. Are you saying anything? You're just standing up there. I'm like, geez, what the heck? Why don't you go out there? Because this is made to be just knocked out. I don't want it to fall out. Yeah. So that probably did the trim. Yeah, that's the trim ring. Okay. That. Now,
she came down there and she
all right. So everybody else I've watched on YouTube actually doesn't seem to have a problem. They just unscrew the window and the window comes out easily. But apparently this butyl tape or whatever adhesive, I assume it's butyl tape, kind of still latched on pretty good. force it too much. What? Yeah, that's why I don't want to force it too much, because that's fiberglass repair, and that's not easy and not fun. Here,
Okay.
I'm gonna go inside. Actually,
Lock the window.
okay. All right, it's loose, so just hold it right there.
All right.
Let it rest just on the very edge. Right there, okay?
Okay.
We'll be right back. Apparently there's clips
Oh.
that hold, kind of like clip in.
Yeah.
So if you let it go back too far, all right, good deal. I got it. And that's it. It's a pretty thick frame. Yeah. So right here you can see, first off, it looks like they like mended a couple pieces of wood that aren't really mended together, but used almost scraps. So that's gonna make it be weak right there. And then you can see wet here. You can see the wood shredding here from inside. And then you can see it's wet up here at the top. But over here it's not so bad, which leads me to believe the leak at one point or some point was either here or up top. And over here on the other side, it actually doesn't look that bad. All right, so it looks like the top of the ladder is actually sealed up. So what we're gonna do is leave that for now. And we're gonna go ahead and start removing lights. All right, so now I'm taking what's supposed to be rubber, the molding that goes inside this trim, but as you can see, this is so old, it's just breaking. And I've got new trim anyways, so this isn't worth salvaging. I don't know if the camera picked this up, but there's a big dent here and a big dent right here. And I am not sure where they come from, although they do look fairly new, but I don't remember hitting anything, so. All right, it's one that's getting trashed. Oh, this one's not quite as bad. I don't know when that would have been replaced. It's got hex nuts all the way down to here, and then it's got the square, then it's got a star, star, square, star. Looks like somebody's gone back through and reinforced this. But this is soft as well. So almost every one of the square Phillips head was pretty much rusted. It wasn't coming out, so when I pull this piece off, I'm just going to end up gently pulling them back so that it pulls the screws with it. Look at how long this screw is. This is probably 3.5+ inches long, I would say. Somebody had the right idea when they used these, because most likely when I reinforce, I'm going to reinforce on the inside here, right up here. I'm going to reinforce all the way down and probably stick some of these long screws all the way through to pull on that board, and it'll hold it tight. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but it's like after an earthquake, all this stuff starts falling when you start pulling this stuff off. What a mess. What a mess. You can see, I don't know if you can see this. I'm just pulling a chunk of what appears to be a 2x2, used to be a 2x2. Look at this. So there's a 2x2 here that runs down, and it's like they just pieced it together in a way. Oh, look at that. There's the aluminum frame. Oh yeah, look at that. Just rot. And there's some screws right here. It looks like the big square Allen head style that actually held these two pieces of wood together into the metal. Let me see if I can get a closer look on this. All right, here is the final outcome of when you take the rear fiberglass off, which it was still glued. Mostly you can see right there, it was still glued good up there and kind of right here in the middle. Everywhere else it was really flimsy and the glue wasn't holding because the wood had separated, just like what you see right there and what you see up here. So we've got all that done. Now I'm basically gonna rebuild the frame, which I will videotape all that, and then I think I may put foam insulation in instead of this batted stuff, so if it ever gets wet it won't fall apart and droop like it does, but we'll see. So all right, on to the next thing. Well, and that's how that's done. Complete rubbles is what this is. So, looks like we're gonna rebuild the whole stinking wall.